Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to the final countdown. We are here to do what we do every month, and that is count down the top 5 of whatever I feel like counting down that month. And this is, if you've been watching, to respond to our 2017 year of villains. 2018 is the year of heroes. So all of our lists this year are superhero themed. This month, we are going to look at the
hero themed.
Hero themed.
The only reason I said that is when we did villains, we didn't just do super villains. We also included villains in other properties.
True. But today it happens to be super heroines, the top 5 super heroines or female superheroes in comic books specifically, or from comic books.
Yep.
Indeed. So, with me is Chris the Mole.
Hello.
All right. And so, per the usual, I'll let Mole start so that I end up at the end and can take us to the outro when the time comes. So, Mole, you're number 5 when you are ready.
My number 5? Storm.
Nice.
From the X-Men. She started as basically being treated like a god in Africa. She had to deal with that when she became an X-Man, and she's been a staple of the X-Men for so many years that she's up there with, as well as one of the higher power mutants too, which is cool. And she's just a great character. I like Storm. So Storm.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. This number 5 on my list is a little unique, but it was actually one of the early ones that popped into my mind. Not a super prominent character per se, but one that I thought was edgy because I really do like the character. I read a few of the books that she's in, and I know popular right now amongst the comic readers right now is, of course, in the Spider-Verse is Spider-Gwen, of course. However, while I do like Spider-Gwen quite a bit, I decided to go in a different direction, and I went with the screen turned off. Mayday Parker, the Amazing Spider-Girl. Wow, that's really fucking bright.
It was. I just saw her picture and was like, oh, Mayday.
Yeah,
I liked her from the alternate world.
Yeah, from an alternate future in which Spider-Man Peter Parker ends up retiring after suffering a leg injury, and eventually has a daughter with Mary Jane named Mayday after his Aunt May, who inherits his powers. Okay, his leg got cut off by the Green Goblin.
Yeah, that's not a fucking injury. That's a removal.
Okay, fine. So the Green Goblin cut his leg off in their final battle in which Norman Osborn died, and Spider-Man retired, eventually having a daughter with Mary Jane named Mayday, who it turns out inherited his powers, genetically speaking. And everything kind of comes to a head when Harry's son, Norman's grandson, named Normie, shows up as the Green Goblin and starts threatening Spider-Man at the bridge, saying, "Come out and face me." And Mayday, having discovered her powers shortly before and just found out that her father was Spider-Man, realizes she can't let her father with one leg and being older now go through with all this. So she dons a modified version of her father's costume and goes out to deal with Normie Osborn and an assortment of both returned and new villains.
Yep.
And she was just really cool. The fact that she, had to come to terms with the heritage, the fact that she had to weigh all of that and chose to put her life at risk and follow that legacy, even though her parents didn't want her to. And I thought that was really cool. Is there a way to turn down the brightness on the screen, I wonder?
Yeah, I liked her.
Yeah, she's very cool. There we go.
I will say the thing she spawned from is hit or miss.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Where is... Just lost
For people wondering, that would be Earth X, which was their answer to Kingdom Come.
Okay, there we go. There you go. Okay. So, yeah. So just Mayday Parker, I like her as a character, and I felt that a lot of people don't even remember that she exists, and I just think that's, although luckily she did show up in Spider-Verse, they did not completely forget her, and that was cool.
The reason people forget is because most of her stuff's over now.
Yeah, it's kind of a past thing, so, but she was still a great character for the brief time that she was around, and I felt that she was enjoyable, and I liked her as a Spider character.
She was a cool alternate world character.
Indeed. All right, number 4, Mo.
My number 4? Batgirl.
Nice.
And yes, I did like Barbara as Oracle before someone mentioned that. However, while she was Oracle the whole time, I was just like, cure her already. Because she literally got paralyzed to further Batman's story, which is shitty. Which means the Oracle character represents everything that's wrong with comics. She, I mean, don't get me wrong, she eventually became more than that, but I wanted to see her back as Batgirl. It's what she belonged as. She was fun. She's been in loads of media and stuff, and Batgirl's just cool. Everyone likes Batgirl. Batgirl.
Nice, very nice. All right. Now, I mentioned Spider-Gwen before, and in addition to the spiders like Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales, there are a number of other young heroes running around in the Marvel Universe these days, kind of a next generation that's sort of making its way up, as it were. And so one of the ones that has always stood out to me as being a really cool character, primarily just for being a relatable character, and just having
female. It's not the female Iron Man, is it?
No, fuck her.
Okay.
No. It's Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan. Because I just like, number one, she is, to my knowledge, at least in terms of being well known, one of the first young Muslim superheroes or superheroines in this case to be around. I thought that was very cool that they brought that diversity in. And at the same time, she's a really relatable character. She reminds me a little bit of, of the earlier Spider-Man when he was still young, when he didn't really know what was going on. She's kind of making wisecracks. She's unprepared, but she's got the heart where it belongs. She's willing to go out of her way to do what needs to be done to help people. And as she's growing as a hero, is becoming more introspective about her own abilities as a hero, about how, she compares to Carol Danvers and about some things that have been going on between them in terms of taking over the mantle of Ms. Marvel and whatnot. And I just think she's a really good character, and I want to read more about her. I haven't, most of what I've read about her has been in when she's, crossed over in other books with other characters. But I really do enjoy most recently, I actually read a segment about her in this Marvel Generations book, which is a lot of fun, where she teams up with Carol Danvers. But I
will just say, for the record, for anyone that's listened to our old podcast when we discussed that at one point, it's worth noting, for the Muslim thing.
That's fair.
No, the only reason why is the guy I did a podcast with from one of the other places, when he came and did one for here, is a Muslim. He absolutely doesn't like the fact that's all her character is look how Muslim I am. It's like, no, you could be a character just have that as a second thing. It's like, you don't need the character running around going, look how Christian I am.
Fair. Yeah. That's fair enough. Like I said, a lot of the stuff I've seen is her in crossover books, so I haven't really seen a lot of that heavily. Look, she's Muslim thing, but I want to try to go to read a few of her books to see more of the character. So we'll see if that's prevalent, which apparently it is. So, but yeah, Ms. Marvel, it's a great character, and I think she's at least worth checking out.
Fair enough.
Number 3,
Catwoman.
Nice.
She's one of the few heroes where you've got to think if she started evil, became a hero. There's been a couple that have done that in comics, but none have been as popular, I'd say, or as good as Catwoman. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I liked Poison Ivy. She eventually turned good. However, she turned back to being evil because she was better as an evil character. Mm-hmm. Catwoman's one of those characters that's better when she blurs the line between good and evil. Yeah. So Batman can, as TV tropes would call it, date Catwoman.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, because let's face it, if she was full evil, her relationship with Batman wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that she's got that moral thing where she's sort of in the middle. Like, sometimes she'll go back and help.
Yeah.
Other times she will completely abandon Batman, and then you get the end credits early.
It's true.
Boom. I got you my reference. Yeah. But yeah, I like Catwoman.
Speaking of that game series, you brought up Poison Ivy, and her riding the line of good and evil was pretty much the best part of Go Bat Tank.
She didn't ride the lines between good and evil in that.
She sacrificed her own life to save the city.
To save her plants. And because she kind of had to.
Yeah.
She didn't choose to do it to save all the people. She was literally forced into it by complete plot convenience, by a story so stupid only complete retards actually consider it good.
Fair enough. All right. So let's see here. Moving on to my number 3 here. I gave it to Jean Grey, aka Phoenix.
Just because she's called Phoenix.
That's only a part of it. But no, Jean Grey's always been a really great character. You know, having started off as, of course, one of the original X-Men, a protege to Professor X, and having similar mental powers like him, but differing mental powers, so it's not quite a duplication. And the establishment that she is one of, if not the most powerful mutant that's ever existed on the planet, and how she's had to deal with the pressure of that level of power and of what comes along with it. And later on, of course, of the Phoenix Force using her as a host, and the, you know, both trying to use that for good while at the same time, you know, the Phoenix Force wanting to wreak destruction. So she's always been a character walking that line of, you know, trying to maintain the balance of the immense powers that she's been gifted, while at the same time trying to deal with the real world things of like a love triangle with Logan and Scott and everything else. I think just the fact that she's a strong enough woman to have made it through all of that. And yes, obviously I know she died, but you know, even her death was really well written and really well done.
Which time?
That's a good question.
No, the only reason I say that is after she died once, that's all the character became, is let's bring her back and kill her again.
Fair enough.
I hated that. She was great before it. I'm not saying she wasn't. She was great before it, but that bit was just like, oh, come on.
Fair enough. But yeah, I just enjoyed Jean Grey as a character because I like that she has both that you know, the immense power, but also, you know, the understanding of that immense power, what it means, and the ability to try to the force of will to control and channel it to use it for good. And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back over to Mole for number 2.
Number 2, obviously, is Supergirl. And yes, it has to be this version of Supergirl. It has to be the Kara version. I don't like the other versions of Supergirl when it's not Kara. The Kara version of Supergirl is awesome. She's relatable. She's cool. She's got all of Superman's powers, but has a lot more personality to her. She's just cool. And yeah, I preferred before New 52, but that one's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't read a lot about Kara. I mostly know about her from the TV show Supergirl. But everything I've seen, she's a really, really cool character. And I like that she was able to kind of develop into her own and do her own thing and not completely live in the shadow of her cousin.
Yep. I would say I'm shocked that's your reference point.
Why is that?
Because you haven't seen all of that show, and she's been in nearly every DC crossover.
That's true.
And she was also in Justice League Unlimited, or that wasn't 100% Kara. They mixed 2 versions together.
Yeah, I've probably seen a little bit of her in the DC animated stuff now and again, but for the most part, I just like that.
The best DC animated stuff with her is the 2 recent Superman films. Well, not recent, but you know what I mean, in the last 5-10 years or so. Because they did the one where they adapted him essentially finding her with Batman from the before New 52 story, where she basically becomes a pawn for Darkseid. Like, oh, that's cool. When they adopted the one after that too, which is cool. So where she's dealing with Brainiac and how he kept her in a kind prisoner in a bottle for years and how she hates him. Well, that's cool.
Oh, she in like Kando or something?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, but Supergirl is definitely Kara definitely a great character. So a lot of these characters, like I've seen some of them, but it's like, you know, I tend to read event comics and stuff like that. I don't tend to go into individual books a lot. So it's like I have cursory experience with them all, but not a lot of in-depth experience with any given one. Let's see what else we got here. All right, my number 2. You brought this up earlier, and while I certainly understand your logic and your reasoning, I personally, while I enjoy it, I do kind of well, I agree with both. I kind of like her the other way. If I can get that to show. Come on, show you piece of crap. Hang on. I went with Oracle. I like the concept of a superheroine that has such control of everything, and that's her superpower is her brain rather than brawn or physical ability. I like the fact that her power is that she helps other heroes. She can hack into things. She can manage the heroes. She ran her own team of superheroines, the Birds of Prey, and she was able to bring those women to prominence and use them for the force of good. I think as much as Barbara was excellent as Batgirl and a great character, I think that once they move past the whole being shot as a plot device for Batman thing, I think she really evolved into a whole nother level of character, which is seen in a lot of the multimedia that she's featured in, where the Oracle is the go-to for everybody for information, for strategy, for whatever might have you, and that she's really become a vital tool for a lot of.
When you say
DC.
cross media, are you referring to 2 game series? Arkham and CUO.
Those, but also some of the other stuff.
Most of the other stuff, she's Batgirl.
True. And she's good as when she's Batgirl. She's good too. I liked her in the Lego Batman movie. She was a lot of fun. But yeah, overall, I just like Oracle as a character purely because she's a character that bases on her brain, and because she has such power without having to actually go into the field. She didn't let her disability keep her down. She turned her weakness into a strength and became, in some aspects, a greater heroine than she was beforehand. And I think that's really cool that they were able to bring Oracle to that level. And back over to Bull for the number 1, which I'd have to imagine we probably have the same one.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
And yes, I went with the costume I prefer.
That is a good costume. I like that one.
But yes, Wonder Woman. Because obviously, whenever you say to someone, name a female superhero, they're going to say Wonder Woman.
Pretty much.
I'd be shocked if she wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's obviously got a great background. She's more tied to Greek mythology and stuff like that than most superheroes, so it's more of a fantasy element. She has great morals. She has great weapons and stuff like the lasso of truth and stuff, because ironically, the creator of Wonder Woman went on to make the polygraph test and stuff like that. So that's cool.
That is very cool. Yeah. I think Wonder Woman has obviously paved the way for super heroines everywhere in managing to make heroes and hold her own in the big DC3 alongside Superman and Batman by having a rich backstory beyond just I lost my parents, I became a hero based on what happened to me as a child. Whereas in her case, she was raised in Amazon, and she went out seeking to protect the world from what which is all the evils of man, but eventually realized it's everybody's world, and kind of the whole better than you complex waned off a little bit over time. But I just feel like she really just represents what a female hero could be, in that she's she's strong and powerful, but she and righteous, but she's also got that side of caring. She's strong and powerful and does this because how much she cares about the earth. I mean, that even came up in what was it? In Blackest Night, when they did that whole duplication of the rings thing, and the Ring of Love forced the black hand ring off of Wonder Woman because no one loved the planet Earth more than her. Which is admittedly a little contrived, but still cool.
What about Superman? He constantly likes to be a dick to the planet Earth.
That's true, he does.
If you took away the planet Earth, how would he get his jollies from doing stuff like burning Jimmy's bathrobes he gets him as a gift for Father's Day?
Yep. While fighting him as Godzilla.
Yep.
I will remove you from this Earth. Anyway. But yeah, I think Wonder Woman is just the quintessential superhero, and the fact that her relevance continues on today. The Gal Gadot movie was amazing, and the fact that we're bringing that relevance, that amazingness of Wonder Woman to another generation, not just comic fans, but to everybody. I think it's great that we're really bringing that forward, and that she continues on to this day uh, as a representative of all that women can achieve in equality to men.
Yep. Let's not forget the old TV show.
Yes, of course. The what was her name? Linda.
God.
Yeah, thank you. The Linda Carter TV show was really good, and let's stop. Which if you do like that, everybody at home, you should go check out the awesome the Linda Carter Wonder Woman comic crossover with Batman '66. That's a thing that happened.
It did. But the reason I went, it's not the same unless you hear them speak.
That's true. That's true.
That's why I'm hoping they do an animated movie for that one.
Except for the slight problem of not having Adam West anymore.
I meant for her TV show. She doesn't need a man to carry her film.
I thought you meant the crossover because that's what we were talking about. My apologies.
No, I meant for this show. I want them to do a Wonder Woman animated film like that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I would totally check that out.
Also, the original Wonder Woman DC animated movie was fucking awesome.
I've heard that. I haven't had a chance to see it, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, they recently just re-released it on the under a collection of anniversary edition. It's fucking cool.
Cool.
And since we finished, I'll give my runner-up.
Yes.
My runner-up. Best fighter in DC. Black Canary.
That was mine too, actually.
She actually almost made my list, but I thought, when my list's all DC, I need a Marvel one. Storm's almost there. I'll put Storm on the list.
That's fair. Yeah, I was heavily thinking of Black Canary primarily, and I know the overarching story is not particularly good, but I like a lot of what I saw of Black Canary in the Injustice comic line, which I've read the entirety of, the original, not the Injustice 2 line that hasn't come out in trade yet, but the original Injustice line, I liked a lot some of what they did with Black Canary, where they focus a little bit on her relationship with Ollie, and then in this continuity, Green Arrow gets killed, and so Dinah, tries to slow it down to, of course, to I don't want to say revenge necessarily, but to right the wrong that led to his death. And there's a badass moment where Dinah voluntarily agrees to, number one, Dinah gets pregnant, has a baby through the course as it continues fighting, which is amazing during the course of this war that's going on. And then near the end of it, she volunteers to actually get one-on-one with evil Superman, despite knowing that she probably won't survive, so that she can get close enough to him to sonic blast his ears out, to temporarily paralyze him so that she can pop him with a kryptonite bullet and try to take him down. And yes, he ends up killing her at the end of this, although Dr. Fate breaks his own rules and saves her. It's still really cool to see her go through all that, and the passion that she had, being driven by both her love for Oliver Queen and also her desire to see good and right prevail. And just seeing how badass she is, just holding her own against Superman of all people, is impressive as hell.
Which in itself is proof why that continuity is stupid.
Yeah.
A, that wouldn't work on regular Superman. And B, most of the people in that world have been given kryptonite DNA.
Kryptonite pills, yeah.
Which means if she had that and therefore was fighting Superman on equal footing, she'd fucking slaughter him because she's way more skilled. Thus, it makes no sense.
It does.
It's like saying, "Hey, I know everything I've learned from Power Rangers from watching that one episode of Walter Melon."
That was a good episode of Walter Melon.
It was a good episode of Walter Melon,
but I know I get your point.
Yeah, it's not accurate source to do it. I loved Walter Melon.
Flower Rangers.
He doesn't get referenced enough.
He doesn't. He should get referenced more. But theoretically, wouldn't that work on Superman because he has super hearing? So theoretically, wouldn't a sonic scream break his eardrums?
He has super hearing, and as when he's gone against Banshee and stuff, when they've done it, it's affected him a little bit, but not enough.
Fair enough.
Because to be fair, he can control his hearing.
Okay.
Because otherwise, he would be constantly hearing like a pin drop across the room, and it just fucking irritate the shit out of him.
That's fair. Well, anyway, this has been the final countdown, our top 5 super heroines. Thank you for joining me, Mo. I appreciate that.
Pleasure. And we have next month's theme.
We do. Next month, stay tuned as we continue our ongoing year of superheroes. It's gonna be a fun one next month because we are gonna do the top 5 superhero songs.
Yep.
So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
That means officially released superhero songs
Hmm.
made for the superheroes, like the Ninja Turtles theme song or something like that. That would count.
So Aquaman's rousing song of heroism doesn't count.
That was an official song.
I know, but it was still cool.
No, that was an official song, so it would count.
Oh, it was. Okay, cool.
Because that was on Brave and the Bold.
It was. I gotta watch
But
the Brave and the Bold.
what wouldn't count is like that one rap song about, hey, I just want to be Batman.
I don't know that rap song. Fair enough.
It's a stupid one.
Okay. All right. Well, we will cover superhero songs next time.
Drives us bats.